Hi.
Well, hey there.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm recording, just in case.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
perfect. I can
Okay, so
get
that
that
means you're
going.
gonna take all of our names and ranking stuff out and tell us what we're gonna post in the main room. Is that what recording means?
Yeah, I can.
I can
Right.
do that. If that's not what you were planning, if that's not what you meant, I
Yes,
wanted to know
please.
what you meant by recording. Okay, I'll do that then. I'll be the
Okay.
person who writes down the rankings and puts it in the chat here, and then we can all copy that out to the main chat.
Yeah, copy paste is better than typing each one separately. Just in
Yep, so
case.
I'll be accountable for keeping track of that as we go on and also posting it in the chat in this room before we leave.
Yeah, I just wrote my Hive account in the chat.
Yep, I will do the same.
Yeah, I can do the same here.
Mark here, you're muted and. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Oh. Cool. So should we get started and talk about our contributions?
Yeah, why don't you start? 'Cause you're talking.
Sure. Yeah. Might as well. Yeah, I can start. So, first question: what have you done to raise awareness of fractally? I've been sharing the idea of fractally with my friends, and then also long shot, but keep on messaging Russell Brand because I feel like he would be very interested in this.
Seriously, right?
Yeah.
He's dialed into this ideology. What's the word? Philosophy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. And so I can imagine. Well, he's already compared to a cult leader, so perhaps him starting his own fractal centered around himself might be a little much, but I can see it happening. In addition
You
to
could
that,
start the fractal and invite him.
Sure, yeah. Well, waiting for the software on that one. I've got 4 or 5 different fractals I've been thinking about. There's be cool to do one for a musicians union in my local area. I was thinking that would be a good application for it. Also, I think a science fractal would be really cool, just for rewarding scientists for their work, because currently the paradigm of the way scientific discovery works has lots of problems. But anyway, that's kind of besides the point. Like to move on to give you guys a chance. In addition to that, I have been working on an audio book of the Fractally white paper. So I'm an audio engineer and a musician, so I figured that sort of takes advantage of my skill sets. So I've only gotten maybe 10 pages in or so, but I've been doing just a little bit every night. Have I invited anyone to participate? Yes, Russell Brand, but they did not participate, so was not particularly helpful. And what was my rank last week? I ranked 2 last week, meaning second from the bottom, not second from the top. And yeah, I'll cede the floor here to whoever's next, or would like to go next.
I'll go next. Cool. I put it in the chat. You guys can see my little bulleted list, hopefully. My focus right now is understanding and communicating fractally. So I've written some posts to focus my pitch ideas for normies, for Bitcoiners, for EOS supporters. It really is audience dependent on how I'm thinking about communicating this to people, and in an elevator pitch sort of a style. So I continue to evolve those ideas and add to those documents. I wrote up my thoughts on last week's meeting to help improve the process. And it was really useful for me to really, my high level thinking right now is there are 3 problems for coming to consensus on this meeting. The first problem is, how do I personally rank my contributions in relation to all of you. The second problem is, how do you think your contributions rank against everybody else in the group? And then the third is coming to consensus on that. So anyway, my post, let's see, number 5 in my bulleted list. I'm not sure how to do this exactly, but Dan was responding with some ideas in the comments of the post, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, we've got to get some tools for how to, because it's all relative, right? Like I saw Chris Barnes in the chat saying that it's ambiguous, like 2-3 months. What is it? How do we come to agreement on what our contributions are if we don't even agree on the time frame? But I think it's necessarily ambiguous, first of all, because this is an early process and we're trying to understand exactly how to do this well. The second thing is, like Dan mentioned, there's randomness in group selection, in breakout room selection. So if you get persistently placed with high rankers and you don't feel like your contributions are being accounted for, then you would necessarily feel like you need to bring that up. So it really, unfortunately, I think the messiness of all of this that we intuitively understand, like was bouncing around in the chat room, we understand that it's messy because it is based on feeling, it's opinion, right? And the white paper kind of digs into that part of the process. It is opinion. So
But I do think that surfaces over time, so that's a real balancing force. I just wanted to just place that into this, all the talk about it.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the ambiguity. I only want to say that when we speak of the sloppy way this consensus process is engendered, the average over time, I'm a firm believer in. So but I'm not going to keep talking about it. I know we know what you're saying. I just wanted to slip that in there.
Thanks. Yeah. And those are my contributions. Thinking about it. I haven't invited anybody yet. I don't feel ready to invite people. I'm trying to understand this still. That's me.
What was your ranking last week?
Oh, rank 4.
Mark, you
I'll
wanna go
dive in.
next? Okay, Jason.
I don't know. I should say I just got my Hive account this morning, so I am brand new to this. I've read most of the white paper. The thing that, so I don't have any ranking from last week, obviously, and I haven't invited anybody. But what I'm committed to and what I want to present is I'm really interested in making not the invitation process, but the registration process, the distance from, oh, hey, that sounds like a good idea, to here I am sitting in a meeting. I'm really interested in making that a much smoother process. I'm pretty good at designing processes and documenting stuff. So the quickest way for me to get that is the first one of us in this group who has somebody that they want to get into Fractally can message me, and it could be me and I'll get it done myself, but if somebody else gets somebody they want before me, you could message me and I'll just walk them through the whole thing and document it. I need an actual, like, this is brand new, not I've already sort of figured it out, so I can hear their questions, so I can see, oh yeah, I did this thing that needed to get done just naturally, but it also needs to be in the documentation. Because we're not going to grow this community unless it's pretty easy to enter. I don't think we're trying to make a high bar technically to get in, maybe philosophically, but not technically. So that's, I'm not looking for any rank this week. I just wanted to get in and figure out how it's doing. But what I really would like is an opportunity to contribute this, which would go a lot faster if somebody has a friend they want to get in and you just get me a message on Go Fractally or Hive or wherever. I'm Dao De Jing on both of them. And then I'll document the process as well as I can and put that up in a post somewhere or wherever somebody thinks that's good. So that's everything I got to say. Unless somebody has questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, sure. My question is, have you gone through this with anyone yet? I may have missed it. Excuse me if I did.
No, I haven't. Like I registered myself this morning, and I've got some notes on that, but I know they're not complete. I mean, it's more than I got from my friend, but it's not enough to get somebody who doesn't understand this process, and much less somebody who doesn't understand blockchains or DAOs or, you know, people who are less adept at those kinds of things. So just I'm interested in contributing that, just like regardless of whether it earns me respect or not, because I want to see people have the opportunity to get in here, and I don't want that to be a barrier. Anything else anybody wants to know, or I'll just pass on the mic.
Just comment. I love it.
All right.
I love that
Cool.
small project. It's a project that you're working on. It's really great. I think it's a perfect idea.
Cool. Glad. Well, if you have somebody that you want me to help, please let me know who they are. All right, I'm going back on mute.
So just remember that this is a practice fractally. It's not real, and it's not on blockchain, or it's being manually done on Hive, and we're a group of 5, so you're lucky. You will be getting respect at least the level of 2, which is the lowest when we're 5 in the group. I didn't do much this week with regards to fractally. I did talk about it with a friend of mine, but he's not ready to join yet. He's busier than me, I guess. Last week I was ranked number 4. I was with Dan Larimer, and he got number 6. And what else? And I'm in the process of starting a company, because I got to enough turnover, and I've been a self-employed freelance developer and software group manager, something like that. And I've been working on boring IT stuff and moving gradually to EOS projects and smart contracts. And I'm also working on SQL to EOS, or SQL to EOS, which is a graphic tool to help developers with mouse and graphics and point and click develop the basic smart contract with some tables and having a minimal structure, and having the basic create, read, update, delete actions ready-made for them, and then they can extend it with normal programming. So that's my pet project for the short and medium time span for EOS, which I hope is going to adopt fractally. So that's me. Mark, you're last.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So I've been interested in this process, and so in doing so, I just want to point out it's difficult for me to absorb what everybody's doing. So before I say what I've done, I just wanted to toss it out there. So,
Can you guys
We're
hear
all-
Mark? He's going in and out for
I'm
me.
having trouble too.
okay, we'll see. Is this a little bit better by chance?
That was better. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
it
I'll
is.
speak very loudly. Thanks.
It also
Basically-
might help. Sorry, real quick. It also might help. There is the suppress background noise setting that you might be able to adjust, and that's under the
Yeah, great.
drop-down menu from mute.
Preferences, audio. I don't know. I don't see a suppressed noise. So,
Okay, well, we're hearing you fine right now.
okay, great. So basically, I had just commented that it's very. We're building this process, and I want to point out really weird things. Last week and the week before, it's about how to get to consensus, maybe to argue things or something. It's really, everybody's kind of mystified about how to get to consensus. But in my case, just I know that it's hard to absorb what everyone's doing. You know, we just went down a list of 4 people, and I'm like, so anyway, my 5th person here, me, is I posted into the chat for these kinds of things, so for clarity, maybe documentation. But, to really go quickly through it, previous weeks invited over 10 people, and I'm the silver on this surrogate fractally organization that Joshua Seymour's put on. And then I do the bug reports, and previously I met with June Dan, and introduction, he's building this really cool app that's live that has chat functions, and I want to integrate it into our project, which is the translation, which is the long-term slow growth. We have free APIs available given by the people who've done the work. Translate Me. They want to come to EOS, but anyway, that's a longer-term thing. But this week, I reached out to our translation team regarding offering my support with any blocks or barriers in our community for sewing of pomelo and Helios fabric, because they just want like 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 grand or something like that just to get through. So I want to do that. And then 2 is I'm building a presentation regarding crypto for a group of local community leaders, which is weird because I'm kind of in a small town, a small beach town, but they invited me to speak on cryptocurrency. So that's a generally libertarian area. And so that's in about a week and a half, but I'm writing just simple, throwing it down there. And it obviously evolves to what they want: money entry points. Okay. So I hit here, buy your index on the top 20 on CoinMarketCap. What's that, or something maybe? And then I'm like, well, or you can shift gears and look at team technology, distance to all-time high, overall market cap. Do you get interest? And then lastly, I'll say, and keep in mind, a very example of a team / technology would be something like what we call fractally. And then I'll move into that place of like blow their mind of like where we can organize a pareto, anti-pareto, or a pro anti-fragility kind of like hardening feature to like step toward truer democracy in the ability to dialogue instead of be split from being able to speak with each other and conform and bring new consensus, because we're just stuck. And so people are just gonna be like, that's really neat. So basically I was like, I didn't do anything this week. And then I was like, wait a minute, I did. So that's very subtle and very interesting, but yeah, boom, you know? So I think we all do a lot. I think that's what
Mark,
the
can I
bottom
ask
line
2 questions?
is. Yeah.
First one, can you tell me like shortly, because we don't have a lot of time left, but what's this translation team? I didn't quite get what you all are up to and what's your part in that.
Yeah, my part is basically an ambassador for our community but the mission is to increase the bandwidth across language barriers in the EOS and EOSIO communities.
Okay.
So we have a group that's built translation basics. It handles all kinds of languages. It's based on a tokenized model that returns it to the trainers that train an algorithm that's machine learning. So in other words, it ties in a neural network approach to translation. So over time, the algorithm improves through training. Mm-hmm. And the people who are training it, it's a tokenized system that's built already on Neo. I never really looked deep into how they're architected on Neo. I know they got funded like for $30,000 with Neo, and then they want to also bring it to EOS, integrate it, and then have our guys training their stuff too. So that's the full picture almost entirely.
That's cool.
So I'm curious, is that an automated process or rather an automated translation process, or is it an ecosystem for allowing people to be rewarded for translation services?
It's both. That's what makes it good, is that it's meant to integrate into what we do and tokenomic value, like to turn our actions into transactions. It's integrated and built pretty well. But we have right now to contribute to the EOS, or they have, that I'm kind of like bringing them in because I like their thing, is they have free APIs right now for any project. So if you guys know of any project, please mark Sheer Earthman. Basically, feel free to reach out and say, hey, a translation need here or there for like static translation, but their big thing would be massive amount of like talk. They have a Telegram app and stuff that just translates the heck out of stuff. It's great. So anyways, I won't go beyond it, but please, if you guys know of project, they need little projects to have as demonstrations. So the little ones would be big wins for us. Okay.
I may contact you about that. I have a Pomelo pitch that I'm going to be putting up, and it would be nice to have some translation services for that.
Oh, that's great, Andrew. Thank you. I will look forward to connecting with you.
Sweet.
I got a question for Ami. Am I saying your name right? Or Ami? How do you say that? How do you say your name first?
Ami.
Ami.
Yeah.
Great. I got it right. So what got you rank 4 last week? You said you were ranked 4 last week, right? What were you ranked?
I was ranked for the SQL to EOS, and starting a company to work on that. And I also talked about Fractally and gave the book that I translated to Hebrew to 3
You translated that book to
other
Hebrew?
people. Yeah, and I have
Wow.
several hundred copies, so I just gave it to people. And I gave it to a guy who's a PhD student in economics. I gave it to a high school principal, and I talked enthusiastically about it with them, and I hope they read it, and I'm going to follow up with them. So.
Cool, thanks. I have a better sense of who you are and what you're up to now. Thanks.
Anybody want to nominate themselves to the 6th position, the highest?
I like that question. Good question.
I think it's easier if we just eliminate from top to bottom.
Yeah, and having themselves nominate, have somebody nominate themselves for top. I like that challenge.
I'm going to anti-nominate myself for top, so y'all can work on who's top.
Just to be clear, in this weird situation, I would be glad to be top, but I'm not going to nominate myself. I'm not anti-topping myself, basically.
Mark, you gotta commit yourself, man. I think you should nominate yourself for top, Mark.
Spencer, I think you should nominate Mark.
I'll nominate myself for number 6.
How about this, Spencer?
Yeah.
You nominate Mark and I'll nominate you. Then we got one nomination for each of you. But Mark,
I don't
you
think
can't
I'm top.
nominate me.
I don't think I'm top.
I'm already
You don't?
nominated.
Ami's translated a book into Hebrew.
That
know,
was,
I don't
that
think
was
I'm
a long
top.
time ago, sorry. And Dan specifically said not to mention stuff that's old. And
Okay.
I would
Well,
nominate
I thought you said
myself.
to downplay the old stuff if you haven't received full respect for it yet. You didn't say
Exactly.
don't mention it.
Exactly.
You said downplay it if you haven't
Yeah,
received
I
full
agree.
respect.
If you
And-
feel like you've been justly compensated for your work for translating, then don't mention it.
No, it was a lot of work.
I think
Yeah.
it would take decades to compensate somebody for translating a book into Hebrew.
It's not going to
Well,
be
you know, this-
decades once EOS is $100. It's going to be much
Well,
shorter.
this goes into the potency of different actions. I mean, this is a perfect example to look at an extreme potency of an action.
It is.
When it may look
Yes.
like Ami's very gentle guy, Aaron Cox very gentle guy, but they know so much they put a little bit in, and it's like. So that's one thing that I'm tracking.
Yeah, and Ami, I would say you really did not occur for me before you pulled up that book and said you translated it to Hebrew. You really didn't occur for me as like you had made a contribution or were going to or knew what a contribution even looked like. I'm not saying I got the right impression. I'm saying that was my impression, right?
Okay.
So I just want to let you know that there was a big shift in my respect for you as I found out what you've actually accomplished and what you're committed to, and then what you did with that book. It's not like I just translated the book. Then, you kind of went on a book drive, got on the bus and started waving it around and stuff like that. So just a little feedback on, I don't think you're talking yourself up enough, buddy.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah, seeing that book made me put Ami in 6 for sure. That's what I was thinking.
Thank you.
There's no way you've been compensated for that yet. That's what I'm thinking.
No, but we're not really compensating anybody now. It's just practice meetings anyway. I'm looking forward to working on SQL to EOS, which is going to be a nice tool, but I cannot use that because it's just a future promise. It's not something I did already.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got to get a number 6 here. So how
what do you think, Mark?
Want to do that?
Because Ami and Mark are 6 in my mind.
I nominated myself about 2 minutes ago as number 6.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I would vote for Mark for 6.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Anybody want to argue with me and vote for Ami, including Ami? Do you want to argue for yourself and vote for yourself?
I'm easy, which is a problem. Dan Larimer said it's going to be a different dynamics once fractally is worth $100. People will be more competitive, and but I'm good with Mark being number 6.
Yeah, at this point, I'm most curious to know how Ami thinks his contributions rank against Mark's, and how Mark thinks his contributions rank against Ami. And hearing that Mark nominated himself for 6, that makes me want to vote for Mark, because he heard Ami's contributions and he understands his contributions better than everybody. And so I'm going to put my vote with Mark if he's nominating himself for 6 and thinks he's better than Ami.
Andrew, we haven't heard much from you. What do you got to say, man?
I agree. I just have my own little list right here, and I put Mark in sort of the top triad, if you will. And so I would be happy to rank Mark number 6.
All right, well, that's done then. Except I got one question for Ami. So, what do you actually think? I don't want what do you think about the vote, but what do you actually think about the comparison between your contributions and Mark's contributions?
I want to know the answer to that too.
It's difficult to compare. I feel bad about my contribution in the past few weeks with EOS and fractally, but I'm working hard to just get rid of unimportant urgent commitments I have and get back to contributing more to EOS and fractally, and that's what I hope to be able to present next week and the following weeks.
I know to put tax to you, man. You did not answer my question.
Oh, I didn't? Sorry.
Oh, I'll ask the question again. What do you think about the comparison between your products and Mark's products? And Spencer, if I got that question wrong, you can correct me.
I think the multilingual two approach translation is online and real time is great, and I think it's great that there's a way to compensate people that are training manually the translator, and I think it's an important contribution. And if they're interested in migrating to EOS or doing that in parallel, I think that's also important, and it means a lot when you have technological teams interested in moving into EOS.
All right, good. And then
question.
Say again,
How much more time do we have?
This week. Oh, sorry, Mark. what was that?
12:15. 12:15 we get pulled out, it says on the schedule.
Okay, it looks
Yeah,
like
so we got 12 minutes.
12 minutes. So we need a
Okay.
5, 4, 3, and 2.
Jason, what was your question?
No, Mark's right. We need to move on.
Okay.
But I just wanted to poke at you and get a better sense of, who you are, what you're about, what you think of things going on here, and get that not just for me, but for everybody else on the call. But
Okay.
let's move on. So we got a 6. It's Mark.
I nominate myself as number 5.
Yeah.
Great. Andrew, I'll let you say anything before I say anything because I've been loud.
Muted.
Yeah, I would. My number 5 would be either Ami or Spencer, because both of you guys contributed quite a bit.
Okay, so
Ami,
do
what's your
you have an
hive
opinion,
name?
or are you
I don't see it
50-50
written
there?
by your name.
Oh, pardon, you're asking, do I have a preference between the two?
Yeah, and Mark had a different question. We talked over each other. So let's make sure they both get answered.
Yeah, let me
I'm
let me just
sorry.
answer.
I'm
yours
looking
real
for
quick.
Ami Hines' hive name. I have a bad connection. I'm sorry.
It's just AmiH at Hive. AMIH at Hive.
Yeah, sorry, I added it.
So yeah, I would probably rank Ami 5 and then Spencer 4, just because I do think there's a tremendous amount of value in translation, especially translation of things like sort of the philosophical underpinnings of what we're doing here. And even though Ami, you have been sort of rewarded for that, I don't know if it's been rewarded to the level that I think it deserves. So I would be happy to second Ami's nomination for rank 5.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm on that
those are my
too.
thoughts.
I'm totally aligned there. So then we got the top 3 are Mark and Ami. And then, sorry, the top 2, I've already put my number 3 in. So who do we want as number 3? I'll let other people talk first.
Do you mean 4? Rank 4?
Yes,
You're
we
right,
have
I do
6,
mean
5,
rank 4.
and now 4.
Yeah, we have 6, 5, and we're looking for rank 4. Thanks for the correction.
I'll nominate myself for 4.
All right, what do y'all think about that?
I think
think
that's
that's-
okay.
Good.
I'm happy
So
with
do
that
I.
as well.
All right, so we got 6, 5, and 4. Now it's between Andrew and I for 3 and 2.
I would like to nominate myself for 2. I will say, Jason, I do think that.
Do you
even
mean
just
3
you
or 2?
joining- oh yeah, we're 3 and 2, not 2 and 1. So 3 is what I meant. Because Jason, you are providing quite a bit of value just by joining, and I think your level of engagement is great. However, I did actually do some stuff that was very specific to fractally, so I think that deserves some level of recognition.
I agree. I've been here 2 hours. If I got ranked above somebody who has at least invited another person, I think that would be a little weird.
Yeah, I expect to get a higher rank next week once I actually publish the audiobook of the white paper, but that's future work, so I'm not trying to claim any credit for that yet.
All right, cool. I'm aligned with that. You're number 3. That puts me at 2. Anybody else have anything to say about that?
I agree. And
Yeah, I posted in the chat
thank
the
you, Mark.
consensus, and I said everyone in the breakout chat should agree and copy the text and rejoin the group chat. Just for posterity, I'm saying it because we only have a few minutes. And then when you get in the main room, you post a copy of the group consensus list to the main group chat in that form. I think I got the form right, but if somebody wants to check it.
I think
I'm
you.
checking the form right now, but would everybody just check your name and make sure it's accurate in what Mark posted?
Yeah, it's good, and I think you can drop the rank 1 none.
He said to put it. I think it's good how
No, we gotta
Mark
put that in
said.
there. Yeah, he said to put that in there.
Oh, okay. So we're going back to the main room.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would recommend. I would ask. Please feel free to continue talking. I think what our business is solved, and we know what we need to do. I think everybody needs to copy this and paste in the group chat once we do break.
One thing I'm not entirely sure about is the format is rank 6 user at Hive. I'm not sure if the rank 6 is a necessary part. Last week, I believe it wasn't, or rather that was the consensus among the groups I was in, or rather the group singular that I was in. But I don't know if they were correct about that. But I mean, this should work.
The literal text RANK6USER, do you think that should be in there somewhere? Because I think that's supposed to be replaced with a username like Hachu or AmiH.
Right.
Yeah. So that part's pretty clear, but the part I'm unclear about is if we have to put RANK6 and then the username.
No, I
And
think
then
it's just the username.
Just the username. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the way I
in that
understood it
case.
as well.
Cool.
Well, somebody's been on these votes before, right? So whoever's been on these votes before, does this look right?
Yeah, it's right. Dan, I asked that
okay.
question to Dan, and he's.
Oh, well then we
He
know.
clarified.
Great.
Okay, cool.
It's just a
I
hybrid of
told
a
Andrew
manual.
that last week, so I didn't want to.
It's a manual system, and then there's a software that parses all the comments and tries to make sense of that.
Yeah, that's
so
why I
do
wanted
we
to
leave
make sure.
room in order to go back to the main room? Is that how we get back to the main, is leave room?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's how you do
I
it.
think you have to paste that ranking in the main room. So
Yeah.
That's right.
copy,
So make sure you copy.
leave
it.
this room, and
Or I
then
guess
paste
you don't
there.
have to.
Okay.
I've got it copied.
It says. Oh, I see. Everyone in this breakout chat should agree and copy,
Yeah.
not paste it into our chat, but just copy it.
Yeah.
Then we break, paste it in the group
Yes.
chat.
That's it.
That's right,
And the
paste it in the
other
group
thing
chat.
is, do we know what room this is?
It doesn't matter.
Two?
I think it's not.
It doesn't
important.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as
Okay.
we all paste the same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you,
well,
guys.
All right.
Hey, it was
I think
great,
we're good, folks.
Great to see all y'all, and just personally, I really liked seeing, like most of you I've seen before, but it was nice kind of speaking with you, Andrew. I see you all over Twitter and such, and then Spencer. Nice to see you again. It's been a long time. So of course,
Yeah.
Hey, Spencer, one
Nice
really
to
quick
meet
thing
you,
before we
Jason.
go. Your mic volume input is significantly higher than other people's. If you could
Good to
turn down the
know.
gain on your mic, you might.
Tell me
that out.
when it sounds good. Is this better? How's
That's
that?
too low. That's too low. Bring it up a little bit.
How about that? Is that?
That's right about
good?
right.
Okay. Thanks.
Anybody else? Do Spencer and I sound about the same volume now?
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
in the artillery, so my hearing is not so good.
Okay.
All right. We'll take a consensus of 4 on that then. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm headed back to the main room.
Bye. See you there.
Bye.
Hey, great seeing everybody.
Yeah.
Recording in
This is just
progress.
early on in this whole ideal and process. There's